You're looking around your house and you're saying, how did I accumulate all this stuff? I know I have felt that at times throughout my life. You have these feelings of often guilt, shame, overwhelm, anxiety, because you have this stuff that you have had the best intentions to get rid of, and yet you never seem to make time or prioritize it. I get it. Well, in this video, I'm going to help you over one weekend reduce things by up to 50%, perhaps put some money in your pocket, and ditch the stuff that you don't need. Because with decluttering, don't think of it as downsize, as a negative. Think of it as freedom, as having the things around you that bring you joy, that lighten up your life, that you find useful. Less stuff equals less stress, less to take care of, and more money in your pocket. And here's step one on how to achieve that. So I call it the 20-20 rule. If you haven't used it in 20 months, or you can replace it for $20, then you're going to get rid of it. And it's really important to actually start small. You need to build momentum. Even though you're doing it over a weekend, you still need to build that momentum. And the 20-20 rule really helps give you clarity around this. You want quick and easy wins for sure using this method so that you carry on. You know, I had a KitchenAid countertop blender mixer that I had that I loved having because it was a KitchenAid, but I never used it. It sat in my closet forever and never got pulled out because I used my hand mixer and other tools instead of it. And so I sold it and made some money. And that's what I want you to do. So how are we going to approach this? Well, that's step two. And we're going to do a room by room blitz. So let's start with the kitchen because there's lots to declutter and get rid of and simplify in our kitchens. First, I would go through your canned goods, anything that you haven't used in 20 months, and you'd be surprised at how many of those things might be hiding in your cupboard, or your spices. If you haven't used it in 20 months, it's probably lost its taste and flavoring anyways. It's time to get rid of it. The other thing is to go through small appliances like my KitchenAid stand mixer, or if you have appliances that are broken. So it's time to get rid of those. Go through your cookbooks, go through vases, go through platters that you have. Things that you haven't used in 20 months or more, or you can replace for $20, I would get rid of them. That's your kitchen. Now the next is to move on to your bedroom. And here, there's a lot of hidden things that we keep in our bedroom, particularly in our closets. So the first thing that a good hack I heard was to do this. You set a timer and you decide what outfits do you have in your closet that you can make up. And if there are things there that really don't create an outfit for you, then those are the things that you have to look at getting rid of. Go through your shoes. Are they broken? Do they need repairs? Those things, you decide whether it's worth repairing or getting rid of them. You also go through your shoes and look at things that you haven't worn in the last 20 months. And if you haven't, then if you didn't wear it this season and you didn't wear it last season, you're likely not going to wear it the coming season. So you go through that. Go through your makeup and your toiletries in your bathroom. Oh my goodness, I did that and I couldn't believe the number of little samples I had that I'd collected from various places that I got rid of. And old makeup that was still hanging around that I hadn't used in absolutely years. Get rid of that. Same with lotions and hair products. Look at all of that. And again, set a timer, honor that timer, and go through those things. So that's your bedroom. The next is, I would say, living room / office. And here's where my kryptonite is. It's paper. Oh my goodness. I'm a paper collector, and I'm sure other people are too, just like me. So the way to handle paper, it can be a little, you can get bogged down with paper sometimes, but here's the best way to manage it. First of all, go through anything that is really you've kept from a long time ago. Things like income tax that are 10 years and older, you probably don't need those. Same with manuals that you have. You can get everything online now. Why keep a manual? Or receipts, purchases that you've kept, things that either you don't have anymore, that are broken, that are more than 20 months old. The warranty is worn off, so you can't exchange them. Get rid of all that paperwork. and start small and go through one drawer at a time. The other thing are books. Books are a big thing that people keep. And here's a strategy on dealing with books. So you can organize them by genre, like cookbooks, fiction books, manuals, maybe even break down your reading books into like non-historical fiction, romance, mystery novels. And for every one book you keep, you get rid of two. And that way you are keeping the ones that mean the most to you. Now, what about sentimental items? A lot of people have sentimental items. I did from my mom, and I was keeping them at the back of my buffet. I was keeping things in boxes in my basement. And here's my strategy for that. We keep them because they're sentimental. They have emotion attached to them. They remind us of that person or that event that happened. And here's what you can do. Take that collection and keep the ones that are your very favorite. So if it's a teacup, if it's a train set, if it's tools, keep the things that bring you the most joy, that are your most favorite, or you use the most often. And the others you can get rid of. And there's lots of ways to donate them. There's museums, there's community centers, there's like tool libraries that you can donate to. So we'll get to that in just a moment. So those are some of the key rooms that I want you to look at. Notice I didn't mention over a weekend a garage or a basement. Those are bigger things that are harder to manage over a weekend. To step 3, sell, donate, or ditch. So you've gone through items and I've identified the things that you want to get rid of. How are you going to get rid of them? So you're going to sell them, you're going to donate them, and the things that you don't do those two, then you're going to ditch. So the things that you're going to sell are things that people want. You know, mid-century stuff is very popular. Books aren't so popular. People aren't really going to pay for that because they can get it on their Kindle or Kobo or the library. But record collections, CD collections, even things like Canadian Tire money, people will often pay for. Here's the key. Put it on Marketplace and you're going to sell it for minimum 50% less than the retail value, but you probably need to go to almost 75%. So if retail value is $100, you're probably going to get between $25 and at best $50 if it's in really great condition. But think of it this way. All the things that you're selling will add up. When we did our garage sale, we earned $650. So you can put that towards your vacation fund. You can go out for a really nice dinner. You can do a lot of different things with that. Now, the donate pile. So those are the things that you can't sell. You're going to donate that are in good condition. So clothing, small appliances, books, some donated, shoes, things like that can be donated. If food isn't too expired, you can donate that if you haven't used it, if it's not too old. And there are lots of places to donate within your community. I mentioned already that we actually have a tool library that you can donate old tools to. There is, if you have a train collection, there's actually train museums in and around the Guelph, Kitchener-Waterloo area that you can donate to. There's communities, if there's, housewares and things like that, donate them to Salvation Army, Value Village, and somebody who is in need will get to use it because now you're helping somebody who can get another second life out of that item. And so now if you can't sell it, you can't donate it, then you're going to ditch it. And that's the step 3. I've given you information on how to tackle things. So what do you do for a weekend? You plan one weekend and you're going to do 2 rooms over that weekend. And during that time, you're going to use the 20-20 rule. You're going to make it allotted easy time, 20 minutes to start with, maybe work up over the day. Maybe you do 2 sessions of 20 minutes or 3 sessions of 20 minutes in one day, but you pick 2 rooms and you work on those 2 rooms. And even if you don't get them all decluttered, let's say one room, you start with your kitchen and you don't get it completed in that one day, but you've reduced it by 50%, then you're ahead of the game. Or if you take that closet of your clothes closet or your hall closet and you reduce it by 50%, you're well ahead of the game, because remembering decluttering is bringing freedom, simplification, less stress, less housework and maintenance to maintain. So decluttering is, think of it this way, it's a launch pad. It's not something to look at negatively. It's actually very empowering, and it's a launching, whether it's launching you towards downsizing in the future, whether it's launching you towards having a more simplified, easier life, whether it's launching, just making more space in the area that you live in. Decluttering actually takes a lot of stress, overwhelm, anxiety, guilt off of our minds and opens us up to a lot more freedom and joy and simplification in our lives. And that's what we all want, right? So hope you've enjoyed this video and you found it useful. I'll see you in the next one.